What did you make of the collision, Brendan? How did you see it play out from your perspective?
I am very proud of Lando. I'm a Lando fan and an Oscar fan. Some people think I'm just for Piastri, but very much a Lando fan as well. And seeing him be so apologetic, I think was really cool. I love that they are allowed to fight, but I do think that Norris made a mistake there. And it's often my criticism of him is I think he can be great and he can be a world champion, but it's always in those moments that he seems to falter. And I just hope that he can get over that and be a world champion one day.
Well, yeah, the difference, I guess, between those that do and those that don't, it's how close you can get to the limit, right? And we're going to get into the psychology for Lando, who it feels like he's going to beat himself up a little bit again about the decision-making process. And then Martin Brundle also as well saying it was very clumsy. A few weeks ago, Jacques Villeneuve saying Lando puts too much pressure on himself. What do you think is the issue for Lando Norris overall, that he at these critical moments isn't quite getting it right?
I think sometimes, and I think he has said this himself, I think Lando sometimes worries a bit too much about his perception and how people view him. What I love about Lando is the fact that he is so open about his feelings, and although he shouldn't maybe put himself down as much, I'm glad that he is being open, and I think it's quite important. Someone said that he will never be a world champion with this attitude, and I think his response was, "I'll be the first world champion with this attitude." And I love that. I'd love him to be open with his feelings and whatever, but it does appear that most world champions all pretty much have the same attitude. So it might just be that thing that lets him down in the end.
Yeah, he would be a very contemporary champion with this kind of mindset, wouldn't he? And, you know, how we see things in society nowadays. But at the same time, like you just mentioned, maybe there is a mindset required of a champion. Now, another thing that Martin Brundle said in the article I was reading, that it's the balance of Lando either has a dominant weekend or it's pretty catastrophic. Now, this one has ended up being catastrophic, but he did almost rescue it from a good race performance. But even qualifying to only manage P7, why is that happening for Lando? Because we don't see it on the other side of the garage with Oscar, do we? It's a lot more consistent.
I think Lando is not worried about anybody else but Piastri at the moment. I think his biggest thing is not being second to his teammate. He's been number one in that McLaren seat for so long.